I know if you're watching this video, maybe you're having trouble. You're having trouble just wanting to quit those programs. You're having trouble stepping away from desire, stepping away from lust. And honestly, I think we can tie into that battle of lust. For if you just look at the world where it is right now, there's just so much distractions and content out there. Even knowing that corn is like the highest consumed content out there in the world. It's one of those addicting content that a lot of people watch. Even just looking at like how much things are, especially like if you see OF stuff out there, just too much gooner material. I remember when I was growing up, just always coming home just to watch that stuff whenever my parents were not home, and it literally took a toll on my brain, so much so that it really ruined my perception of how relationships were supposed to be. Even just not even looking at a girl in a more holy matter, if you want to say it like that. And honestly, I think that today's world is just too much gooning material, too much things that can ruin our minds. And I'm not going to say that I'm not perfect. There's days where I might fall back, where my mind would want to be tempted, or my emotions are yelling me to go back. For it's easy to go back into old choices, old habits, if you allow to be that way. But just knowing that me being that person who grew up watching too much of it and really ruined my mind, it really got me thinking, why is it that we even watch this stuff in the first place? Why do we watch corn? Why do many men especially consume too much corn? For starters, one of the reasons why we might consume corn could be from boredom. Whenever we just feel like we are bored or we don't want to really face something, we consume it. When there's something we know that we should be doing, we know that our higher self wouldn't want us to be doing, we end up going to that distraction by watching that content, doing the thing, just knowing that it's not good for us, but we're doing it anyway because we are not wanting to see something, we're wanting to avoid something. Another reason for why we do it, and especially what I did when I was younger, is just needing or feeling of having this intimacy or relationship, this false connection. Just think about it. When you're doing it, it's like you're creating this pleasure, obviously, but also just feeling this void, this emptiness within our heart, because it's really just filling that gap of this false sense of intimacy, as if we're having some sort of connection, because deep down what we really want is love. We want connection, we want love, and we're not really showing ourselves that love as much. So we're using corn as a easy way to have a dopamine release, an easy way to get that false sense of pleasure, an easy way to get that false sense of intimacy and just quick pleasure, where it doesn't even last that long. And even another reason why we watch these things is just to release stress. And if you notice that maybe it's a go-to, a stress reliever, another method, not just smoking cigarettes or stress eating, but watching corn is another thing that I've seen that a lot of guys do, even myself, I did a lot of times in the past, is I just stressed out and I was watching it, knowing that it wasn't good for me. And honestly, the more we do it, the more we consume this content every day, the more we feel this false sense of gratification. We're really just wiring our mind to keep doing these things and making it more of a habit, and just falling into this delusion of this false sense of intimacy, when in reality is not good for us. It's not good for our minds. It's not good for maybe that future relationship that we want to have. How did we even get away from this? How do we step away from just too much of this high dopamine pleasure, too much of this content that is really just making us so distracted from what we should really be doing? The number one thing is understanding the emotional root cause. Where is this stemming from? Why do we feel this way? And how can we actually find this initial root cause? We have to really just remove these triggers, these things that make us want to do these things, for another thing, by changing the environment, changing the routine that makes us feel that emotional trigger, that makes us want to relapse back into that thing that we know we shouldn't be doing. But if we can be more aware of why we're doing it, if we can find that key reason, that root emotional cause for why we are feeling the way we are feeling, then we are really just reconditioning our brain, and we're actually stepping away from finding ourselves watching too much lustful content or just gooning too much when we know it's not beneficial. And the more we do that, the more we're actually going to rewire our brain, the more we're going to rewire how we are doing things. And it doesn't mean the triggers are still going to be there, but if we do that inner work, if we find ways to step around it instead of following the same routines, following the same patterns, then we'll see that where our life will begin to change by changing who we are, by changing how we are doing things around us, by changing the environment, by changing just ourself, you'll find that you will begin to start healing from that emotional baggage. So if you feel like you're struggling with corn today, if you feel like you're struggling with too much of that lust, you just don't want to lust anymore, you don't want to go anymore, start journaling down some of the things and asking why you watch this. Start finding the triggers and root causes for it, and really just figure out how you can actually move away from this stuff. How you can dopamine detox. How you can remove certain triggers in your life that makes you want to indulge into it, and finding a different way to manage your stress, like taking a walk in nature. Anyway, I hope this video helped because I know somewhere in the future it might help me. Real quick, guys, I forgot to add this in my video, but if you're looking to wanting to understand what to do when you want to change your life, then down below I have a link to a free PDF that you can download, you can use anytime, about these questions you can use to clarify what it is you need to do and how to change your life. On top of that, I also made a Discord channel. If you want to join that, click the link below, you'll find it. Thanks, peace.